Welcome back to the show. It's I Quit My Band. How's everyone doing tonight?
I'm great.
I'm fantastic.
Yeah, that's good. My name's Nate.
That's JJ.
I'm Evan.
I'm very tired, folks. I've had a long couple days. Evan and JJ are going to have to, pick me up from the depths tonight.
I got the team
do
on my
this.
back, dude.
We can do this.
You got to put me on your backs tonight.
Evan's
I'm
got-
a tired boy.
Evan's got all the stimuli in him that he needs.
Yeah.
Dude, I got Zen. I got Sigs. I got
You got Panda Express.
Panda Express and a full board Dr. Pepper. Diet Coke was out.
And a full stomach filled with feces, just ready to explode.
Well,
at any
hopefully the
moment.
feces isn't in
We
his
don't have to-
stomach.
You're gonna,
You don't
yeah,
know
whatever.
anatomy
I'm there.
works.
I'm not a
They've
bio.
already
I'm not a
turned-
scientist.
They've already turned the episode off. Let's go, dude.
Let's just do it. Tonight we're gonna be reviewing. I didn't say all the stuff yet.
It's okay.
Subscribe to the channel yet? Subscribe to the channel. Comment down below. Subscribe to our Patreon page. $5 a month to become a quitter. Get the shirt down below. Support the show. It's the official I Quit My Band shirt. And follow us on Instagram and TikTok for podcast clips and
Someone
comedy
bought
skits.
one of these.
Someone did buy one.
Shout out to you.
I got to ship that out.
That's cool.
So I will be
Sorry
shipping it
about
out
that.
soon to that one guy.
Hell yeah.
So
Sick.
thank you for buying this shirt. Tonight we're going to be doing a couple album reviews. The first one we're going to be doing is the new one from Militarie Gun called God Save the Gun. It just came out this past Friday. Militarie Gun, they've been on our radar for, probably forever. Since the show started, one of the first things we did as a trio of people was go see Militarie Gun and White Reaper
Yes,
at
we
Mr.
did.
Small's Theater. And it was a great time. And that was when
It's an excellent show.
one of their albums came out. And now
I think it was maybe right before Life Under the Gun or
Yeah.
right after Life Under the Gun. Because
Yeah.
I remember All Roads Lead to the Gun.
yeah.
I think we may have covered it on
It was
the
when
Death
very
Club.
very high. When we went to go see them, there was like the singles were very high, and the other one I can't
Do
remember.
It Faster.
Do It Faster.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now they've come out with their which record is this? The third?
It appears
Third.
to be their third.
Yeah, so this is their third record, God Save the Gun. We covered not a lot of songs, but I did a reaction of the song Bad Idea on the channel, just a solo zone review reaction. Loved the song. I loved where they were going with it. Seemed to be a little bit more of like a poppy direction, and that kind of like, they kind of started off as like hardcore-ish, kind of like Turnstile-ish band, and now we're kind of leaning more like pop rock, more like indie rock, I would say. Like when they came to Mr. Smalls, they covered a Husker Du song.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like with this record, we're getting a little bit more like Husker Du, a little bit more like pop-ish.
Yeah, I totally agree. I
Yes?
think
Am I,
Yeah, I would
Yes.
definitely say Papa Shop. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't say as much Husker Du on this one as I'm getting a lot more like Third Eye Blind.
I was gonna say Third Eye Blind later in the but that's Husker Du. I never realized how much they have they share a sound with Husker Du.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah,
I don't disagree. Especially
Yeah.
I would say even like the last record more.
probably the last record a little bit more.
I would
than
say
that,
like
yeah.
with this one, there's a really big step up in production.
Yeah.
Real big.
the drums sound awesome.
Yeah.
We like you said, we saw that show at Mr. Smalls, and I went for White Reaper, and I knew of Militarie Gun.
Yeah.
And those two bands fit perfectly on a bill together, and so I loved both bands, especially White Reaper. But I was so impressed with Militarie Gun and their performance that I bought the shirt.
Yeah.
And that appeared in our clip, which
Yeah.
things were okay for Militarie Gun before the clip, but then after we gave them the rub, it seems like things really took off. So
and I believe they asked us to use it in the promotional campaign for the record.
They did, and then they never did that.
sick.
I was so curious. Like, they sent us a message of just can we use this as an official ad? And I was like, absolutely. And then I just waiting for that ad to run.
Just any day now.
Any day now, it's gonna come up.
They're actually Fallon called us back, and I think we're
And,
going to go with that
Yeah,
instead.
we had two options. One was Fallon, and the other one was using your dumb reel. as a promotional TikTok. So we went the opposite direction.
But yeah, they were great that night.
Yeah.
And so it kind of put them on my radar for me. Before that, I wasn't really hip to them. They're coming to a small venue in Pittsburgh soon, and
Yep.
I think we're all inclined to see them maybe. But
How-
yeah,
how
I
did
was
they
really
come?
excited for this album.
I was too. I mean, I don't listen to Military Gun all that much. I mean, like, or I didn't at least before. Like, it seemed very like the straight edge version of like hardcore music.
Yeah,
that, like,
totally.
I feel like I sometimes can't relate to that much because I'm not straight edge, and I'm always like, I'm not of the ethos. You know what I mean? I can't get behind all that. You know,
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if I understand the.
Yeah, you do
ethos.
crack and
as a
you-
guy who does crack and meth
and Joel.
and
Joel
Juul,
pods.
yeah, who smokes cigarettes and does crack.
You're like,
Yeah.
I'm far too cool for
I'm
this.
just way too cool.
Yeah.
I drink White Claws on my deck.
I
don't really
prefer-
understand this
I don't
music.
get it. all
I
right?
can't leave the crack life.
Where's the being a badass? What happened to being a badass?
What happened to being a cool drug
happened to
addict?
being-
What happened to
cool.
ruining
Yeah.
your family?
Yeah, in your body and your mind as well.
Anyways,
Yeah. Anyway.
yeah, I think the straight edge analogy is pretty close, pretty spot on.
Are
but
they a straight edge band?
No. But I think basically what you're saying, like, and by no means does that like have a lame connotation to it. I think
No,
it's
it
just
doesn't.
more like safer and more approachable than maybe some of their hardcore peers. Is that something that? you
Yeah, I
agree
don't
with?
think that they have like quite the level of aggression
Yeah,
that,
no.
that some other bands do, and especially like I remember liking the first record, but hearing "Do It Faster" and being like, "Oh, I think they cracked the code of like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
way that they should sound." Like they have the elements of like that gruff screaming voice, but like they can write a better pop song than your average hardcore band.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I remember listening to that first record, and it's like a van on fire.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're called Military Gun.
Yeah.
And like you're thinking like this is gonna be like the fucking craziest shit ever.
Yep.
And then by the second album, you're getting like pop stuff like "Do It Faster."
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I think that makes a little more sense. And hearing "Bad Idea," I think you like summed it up pretty good in your reaction of like saying it's like a FIFA 2013 song.
Totally, dude.
But like in a very complimentary way.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
I
it,
mean,
it gets you hype. It's cool. It's a rock song.
it's the FIFA like soundtrack that gets you into rock music. Like you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like everyone got like a lot of people got into rock music just by playing those games.
Yeah.
Because you're like, "Oh, what is this?" And then that just becomes the music you listen to.
I think that's the
Yeah.
first time I heard "Death from Above" was in one of
Yeah,
those
dude.
games. I'm
That's
pretty
Exactly
sure.
the first time people have heard like Queen, like no one knows, you know, like any Foo Fighters song, stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, Death from Above was in a bunch
Tony
of those
Hawk
as well.
Pro Skater probably formed the
yeah.
music tastes of an entire generation.
ab-
Without a doubt,
Absolutely.
Superman. Do you think Goldfinger would be anywhere without fucking
with-
playing
Lifting
Burnside?
that up, yeah,
Yeah.
no, not a chance.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was excited for this record, even though I don't listen to him that much. I think it's just like, it's one of those records that you kind of get as like a treat because you're like, for me at least, because it's like I don't listen to this band a lot, but when I do, it's always like great.
Yeah.
And it always ends up being like something that goes on the playlist immediately. Like I'm always gonna be jamming to just like "Do It Faster" was great. "Very High" was another great song. And then there was they had "Pressure Cooker," that song that they did with the band Daisy,
That song's awesome.
which was like I remember when that came out and everyone was like, "This is the greatest song that's ever been released." So yeah, I was expecting a little bit of that, and I feel like we got it on this record.
Yeah, it's 37 minutes, 14 songs, but like you see 14 songs and you're like, shit, that's kind of a lot. But it didn't really feel like a lot because to me on God Save the Gun, they kind of, compared to what I've understood of them previous, they kind of differentiated shit enough from song to song, or like every couple of songs, like giving you like a sparse ballady one, or like, you know, then you go back to an upbeat one. They gave me enough fluctuation in vibes to keep me engaged, because if they have a definite like strike zone, perfect fastball situation, and they're really good at it, but it's one that I feel like could get tiresome, if you're listening to it for 40 minutes or something.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think like this album reminds me a lot of Romantic by DC Fontaine.
Fontaine's
Fontaine's
DC.
DC.
Yeah,
DC
Romance.
Fontaine.
Romance
Diet Coke
by
Fontaine.
Diet Coke
DC.
Fontaine.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of that in just this band that has more of an indie punk, or in Fontaine's post-punk, like their attempt to make a more approachable pop sound,
Yeah.
and with like a lot more production. I would
Yeah.
say that Romantic is more successful.
Romance.
Romance,
It's
whatever.
so funny how bad you fucking Romantic by
By
DC
DC.
Fontaine.
You
I was
know
like, who is
We got
DC?
it,
I
though.
was like, what is he talking
You
about?
knew what I was talking about. There.
One of my
It took
records
me
of
a
the year
second.
last year.
It did take me a second.
Yeah, so it did remind me a lot of that record in like the trying to make the like bigger studio record a more approachable sound. I would say that Romance is more successful in both like the level of differentiation you get on every song and how they employ like the big studio.
Yeah, in atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's tough to compare both of those records for me. I mean, both of them have such a different sound. Like I know what you're saying, but yeah, I think Fontaine's DC went for like that kind of like new wave essence, where this still feels very like ingrained in like hard rock, punk rock.
Punk, yeah.
Like this is a little bit more of an indie sound, I think, for Military Gun. Like I think there's like the hooks are like immaculate. Like the first half of this record
Yeah.
is just hook fest.
Throw Me Away is one of my favorite songs I've heard all year.
Yeah, and
Bah, bah, bah,
yeah.
bah.
Fill Me with Paint as well.
Yeah.
Down, down, dun, 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 dun. Like that. The riffs are great. The hooks are very memorable. But then you get songs like Daydream, which sounds like Crash by Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah.
And
Nice pull.
yes. And then you have like Isaac Brock featuring like
That was a nice treat for
it
you.
was a
guy.
nice.
Yeah.
I knew it was a nice treat for you.
I was listening and I was like, damn, they're doing a really good Modest
Yeah.
Mouse impression
Yeah.
right now. And then I looked, I was like, oh shit, Isaac Brock.
It is.
Oh,
Modest
it's 50.
Mouse.
Oh, and
seconds.
the song's
Yeah.
called Isaac's Song. Whoa.
They just let
Yeah.
that like a nut come in.
They
and
just let him do whatever
gi-
he
you-
wanted.
We're going to give you 58 seconds
Yeah.
on the record.
Just scream into that microphone. Oh no! Yeah. Yeah. There. I mean. I keep trying to think of like the softer ones. I feel like there's another soft one.
There's a couple
towards
of them.
towards the back half of the record. Daydream. I Won't Murder Your Friend is not soft, but it has a much like more subdued vibe. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good way to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the rest of the songs are just fucking like some of the guitars are just absolutely huge. Like
Yeah. And the
Kick,
drums.
Wake Up and Smile, and then you have like big like kind of old school type of songwriting. Like I'm not even really sure the word, but like I guess
Structure.
not structures, but like little
Tendencies.
tendencies.
I got you.
Little paint strokes.
Yeah.
My brain's just
Flourishes.
off, dude. Flourishes. Like
got it.
I think it's on Kick, or maybe I'll burn my life down. There's like those big like Sweet Caroline
Oh,
vocals in one of them. I
Yeah.
can't remember which song.
Well, yeah,
it
it
is.
almost sounds like a Beach Boys song.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
that's
And there's
what I'm
like
saying.
strings on shit too.
Mhm.
So at times, like they're probably fake ones or whatever. But like, I didn't expect that quite from like a band of this caliber. But I think it's all like going to what I said before, where they really, it feels like, made a conscious effort to give you different colors every time through, you know.
Yeah, like
I-
there's some nice synths on some of these songs too. Like God
Totally.
Owes Me Money. You know, I love the little pattern on that song.
Yeah, I think I'm maybe just a hair more mixed on it than you guys are.
Oh, okay.
I think like the first half, like you said, is great. Pretty much up until like Kick, I'm like, man, this is like one like batting 1,000. I kind of do feel like after that in the last few songs that it's like they've kind of shown you all the pitches at
Yeah.
that point.
They definitely do.
And there's
Yeah.
like the back half is just a little more like I feel like I've heard this one before. And
Yeah.
there's two like right back to back where he kind of uses like the Blink 182 vocal, like not quite that, like
Yeah, maybe a little
like
bit. Yeah.
like that cadence, and
Yeah.
he just like I do like how he's employing his voice throughout because it still has that like gruff.
It's very gruff.
And
yeah.
even when they're doing like Daydream, it like maintains that. He doesn't like try to make it crash by
Yeah.
Dave Matthews.
Yeah.
But just towards the back half, like it started to feel a little longer than 37 minutes.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean,
14 songs is a lot of songs.
it's
even
a lot
if
of
one
songs.
of them's a minute.
It's
you
a
know?
lot of songs. I will say that like after I Won't Murder Your Friend, I feel like you don't even like need to pay attention to the last like couple tracks. Like it's not like God Save the Gun is a bad song or a bad closer, but it has a familiar like there's a familiar melody in there, and I figured out what it is, and it sounds like "Ooh La La" by Faces, the Rod Stewart song.
yeah.
Like the
Shit.
melody like still follows that like like I was trying to
Yeah.
think the whole time like.
What is this?
You start to realize that there are some like borrowed melodies, and like you said with the Beach Boys thing, like there's a lot of like what we talk about on the show a lot of like kind of
reheating nachos.
reheating nachos, not being so bankrupt of ideas,
No.
but just kind of like
It's not like a Joe level of reheating nachos.
definitely
You're putting one
not.
chip
Yeah.
in the microwave.
Yeah, no, you're putting one chip in the microwave, and you're just like, oh yeah, these are older melodies. These are kind of pointing back to older songs.
Yeah, I located the Blink 182 cadence. The dun 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 dun
Oh,
dun
yeah, yeah.
dun dun. Yeah, it does it like
Yeah.
on a couple songs where I'm like, he sounds cooler than Tom DeLonge.
Way
Yeah.
cooler.
One
But-
more time.
But it is
Yeah.
there's a little bit of that. And
Yeah.
and what I mentioned earlier is like the more I listened to it, it really reminded me of Third Eye Blind.
Yeah.
Which I don't have a huge problem with. I like Third Eye Blind, especially that first record.
First record's amazing.
And this is like a cooler, updated version of that with like really cool production.
With
the
like a punk tendency
Yeah.
to it.
exactly, and like drums like super fucked up and blown out.
Yeah.
And these like studio flourishes, like we talked about, like there are parts of the songs that are like insanely lush for the type of
Yeah.
band that Military Gun is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I do think like comparing it to the Fontaine's record, like that was a band that figured out how to use the studio really well in that way
Yep.
to really like use this flourish at the right time. It feels like they're still kind of figuring out, because there's times where the songs like you'll get a flourish and it's like the perfect thing for that song, and then other times where like you'll hit like a chorus and there's like strings and synth and a bunch of stuff kind of going on where it's like maybe if you would have like picked one here and then added another one here.
Yeah.
That's a
Perhaps-
little more nitpicky, but
Perhaps
that
it's
is
like
kinda,
a scenario of like the kids entering Wonka's factory. You
I'm
have
sure.
all. I mean, I'm not like talking down on them. They are like a new band in a lot of ways. This is their third record, but they're ascending in popularity. So perhaps they did have access to a lot more than they have in the past. So they're making their dreams come true, man.
Hell yeah, dude.
They're falling in
yeah.
the chocolate river.
I thought you were going to continue talking about the characters from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh.
I'm not talking down on them.
No,
but I mean,
no,
Charlie shouldn't have done that.
Veruca Salt got what she deserved.
Charlie should not have drank the bubble, the fizzy
The
bubble,
lifting.
Yeah,
fizzy lifting
drink.
drinks.
You lose. Good day, sir.
Good day, sir.
Yeah. No, I was more referring to Military Gun.
That's just where my brain's
Yeah.
at right now. I'm just like
dude.
a little bit behind.
Yeah, that's all right.
Just
That's
a little
all right.
bit slow.
I fucked up Fontaine's DC so bad.
I know
The
you
people
did.
in the comments are gonna be like, "What are you
Fuck
talking
you.
about?"
Yeah.
DC Fontaine.
DC Fontaine.
I love Romantic by DC
Romantic
Fontaine.
by the singer songwriter DC Fontaine.
I'm like, I'm gonna carry this episode
Yeah.
on my back. I have a stroke 4 seconds in.
Seldom am I the most on one.
Yeah.
That's
It is,
a
dude.
bad sign.
I'm just imagining what a musician named DC Fontaine would be like. And then I wrote
Memoir.
my third record, Romantic, and it was It was really based off of Third Eye Blind.
Wasn't the Sinatra character in Godfather Johnny Fontaine?
Yeah, it was Johnny Fontaine.
Yeah, there you go. DC Fontaine.
Dick Cock Fontaine.
Dick Cock Fontaine. There we go. We landed on it.
There it is.
Okay, cool.
That's the best I could come up with.
Should we move into the CAs?
Yeah, let's do the CAs.
All right. Yeah, I'll go first.
Yeah.
I really liked this. I was, I don't want to say pleasantly surprised because the singles were good. But I think this record really proved that Militarie Gun has a lot to say and is going to say more because they, like we just talked about, used every toy at their disposal effectively. In times, yes. Sometimes it just maybe felt a bit like music. Well, I'm going to say Music Soup again, but it's not quite Music Soup. But we're getting a little wet, you know what I mean? But no, I mean this song, or this album maybe produced one of my favorite songs of the year with "Throw Me Away." I love that song. I've listened to it like 100 times.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just really strong stuff from a band that like clearly has their niche but isn't afraid to try stuff and expand upon it. And they played 14 songs on this record, which may be a lot, but it didn't feel like they were overstaying their welcome at the same time. So all that's in mind, I'm going to give it, I think, a 7.9 out of 10.
I like that score.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think like there's a lot to like on this album. I think they wrote some great songs, and it's cool to hear a band like this attempt to do kind of like a crossover type album, but still retain a lot of the things that made them sound cool. My only issue with it is I think it does overstay its welcome a little bit, and some of like the new studio like bells and whistles don't always add up to like making the song feel more fleshed out or more impactful. I think the first half of the record works like really well. Like those first like 3 or 4 songs are like unbelievable.
Yeah.
Once you get into the back half, yeah, I just feel like there's certain points where I'm like, okay, I feel like I've heard this one before, and would this be a stronger album at like 28 minutes long? I think it would be like undeniably yes. Yeah. But if you're in the studio, you're trying all these different things, I can understand you being like, well, this one sounds good too, so why not put it on?
You got the room on wax.
Yeah. And I mean, if it gets the Isaac Brock seal of approval for a guest appearance,
I know it's getting yours too.
Dude, I gotta give it a good score. Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm feeling like a 7.3.
7.3. Okay. Yeah, I really like this. I feel the same way as both of you guys. I really enjoy what this album is and like where Militarie Gun like evolved from their past records. This reminds me of not just like hardcore punk or like aggro punk rock from the 80s or anything like that. It reminds me more of like Weezer and, like you said, Third Eye Blind, and a little bit of like Beck in there as well. Like, I just kind of like that they were able to make a record that feels like a full record and not just like this thing that is just another expression of punk rock that a lot of other bands
like a
have.
mixtape or something.
Yeah, just like a mixtape. It's like, this is what we sound like, and we're just going to put out the same thing over and over again. Like, that's kind of what Militarie Gun in my head was for a little bit, and now it feels like this is an actual band. Like, getting Third Eye Blind in 2025, I love that. That's a great little treat for me. I just wish they would have taken it a little bit farther. Like, I wish that the back half of the record had a little bit more differentiation like the first half and the middle of this did. Like, when I heard Daydream, I was happy that there was a ballad on it. I was happy that there was a little bit of a mix-up and a curveball. And then, like, I Won't Murder Your Friend, it's a little bit different, but not different enough. And then I just think it starts like, it just kind of goes right back to the beginning a little bit and doesn't come off as all that original. Like, I was interested in hearing all of the songs in this record. I just think it just got a little bit more like whatever towards the back half.
Yeah.
I still think it was a really fun listen, and yeah, it does have some of the most fun rock songs from the year so far. Like Bad Idea, God Owes Me Money, Throw Me Away. I like Kick a lot. There's a lyric on Kick that's really funny, and it's like mom's boyfriend's wife is fighting in the front lawn, which is such a funny line. But it made me realize that the lyrics don't really go that far on the whole record either. It's mostly just like,
Vibes.
yeah, I'm a piece of shit, but everyone else is too, so it's okay. That's the general gist, of like the whole record. But there's some funny lyrics, but yeah, lyrically, there's not that much to look into. You kind of have to just take it for what it is. It's a fun rock record. I'm feeling pretty similar to JJ, just slightly lower, 7.8 for me.
May I? I think that's a Chocolate Factory. Hell yeah.
Sure.
All right.
We can do that.
Does that work?
I was gonna give it
fine with that.
a losing a whole hell yeah.
I was gonna give it
The
a
Third Eye
DC
Blind.
Fontaine.
Hell yeah, that might be.
All right, DC.
Yeah, DC Fontaine.
We'll do it a DC. I thought that was the most obvious
Yeah,
one.
all right, cool.
Yeah. Well,
All
dude,
right.
that's a DC Fontaine. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
For
Military Gun, more like military fun.
military
dude.
fun.
There
yeah.
is some military fun to be had.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
this
There's
record.
maybe we should change it to that. It's military fun. Hell
Yeah, let's call it that.
I just want the end of this video to be so full of graphics you can't see fucking
I'll do
anything.
that.
Just a bunch of titles. Chocolate Factory. Hell yeah. Whatever the fuck you said. What did you say?
Losing a
Losing a whole hell yeah. DC Fontaine.
Worth it.
I've been listening to that album so
Worth it.
much.
It's so good,
Dude,
It's
it's
unbelievably
fucking
good.
great.
I love it.
Like pop rock really has not been better.
It splurged with that album.
really
it really
did, dude.
like
It
hit
blew
its
its
peak.
wad,
It
dude.
hit its peak with Third Eye Blind. Let us know what you thought of this record in the comments. Did you like it? Did you like it more than us? Did you think it was kind of a dud? Let us know. There's typically there's not that much to say when an album it kind of like all hits us all three in a really good spot, and I feel like that's what we have here.
Yeah.
It's just a good fucking listen. So let us know what you thought in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Get the shirt in the description down in the description. That's right.
That's right. You got it.
I got it.
You got
I'm
it.
fine.
Yeah,
Follow us on
everything's
Instagram and TikTok for podcast clips and comedy skits, and subscribe to the Patreon page. $5 a month to become a quitter. We got new bonus content every week. We just did the Battle of the Butt Rock songs, so go check that out. That was a lot of fun. It's Military Gun. It's a 7.8, right? 7.6.
Yeah.
7.6 out of 10.
A DC Fontaine.
A DC Fontaine, I think.
Hell
Hell yeah. Thanks for watching the show. It's I Quit My Band. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.